Smoky Coverage Sports Talk.
What up, good people? This your boy Action Jackson, host of Smoky Coverage Sports Talk, and I have two of the biggest Ravens fans that I know. I got love for both of them. Right there, we got Keshia, Kiki. Also, we got my homeboy Matt. Hey, why don't you two tell a little bit about yourselves?
Hey, I'm Keshia, Kiki, hardcore Ravens fan. Been a fan since about 2010. I moved to Maryland for a bit, back in Jersey, but my heart bleeds purple.
What's up,
Yeah.
Matt?
Like you said, I'm Mac, another hardcore Ravens fan, born and raised in Baltimore. So from Maryland, that's always home. Live in Texas now, but I've been with the Ravens since they've been the Ravens. I ain't gonna lie, I started as a Tennessee Titan fan because we ain't had no team. But then once we got a team, I had to jump ship and go back to the hometown roots. So back with them.
Pittsburgh Steelers, Baltimore Ravens. I mean,
Yeah.
if Packers would have beat y'all, it would have been a moot point.
Yep.
It would have been a moot point.
If you look at the season and what's happened, I think a lot of things were unpredictable. So when they built the schedule, it was intended to be the highlight of the season. And this is like sort of the climactic moment for the Ravens and the Steelers. But, between like injuries and everything else that's happened, like we ended up 1-5. Like I said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but one could assume that there were some strategic decisions made along the way to help influence the outcome of the games.
Right there, boy. Roger Goodell will not be calling you. Don't worry.
Coincidental. We'll say that, right? Like the way that a lot of things happen. But when you look at the NFL as a whole, right? You're talking about no Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, you know what I mean? Like you got to clear way for Josh Allen, or do you got to clear way for Lamar? I think there's so many things that worked out for the NFL. I mean, I said it on my Facebook the other day, AJ, you seen it. Like, I already knew what this was going to be. I knew they was about to flex us to the primetime game as soon as it happened. I said, this is coming because it's good for the NFL. Like, it don't matter what us as fans want it. It's good for the NFL. It's about to fill their pockets. And you know what? We about to feed right into it. So, what it is.
I will say this has probably been one of the most enjoyable football seasons that I had. I'm looking at all these young boys, the Drake Mays. Like I didn't think he was gonna be this good. Now, granted, they said he played some bottom feeders, whatever you want to call it. You can only play who's on your schedule. That's it.
Right.
Those people on your schedule, and he's been balling. I'm not a big Bo Nix fan, but I like the offense he in. They got him running the right way. So yeah, I'm loving these young dudes, man. These Jacksonville. You watch is doing his thing. Like these young guys are really, really coming into their own. And like you said, man, the door is wide open for the Lamars. Josh Allen's. There is no Patrick. As they joked about, they ain't the old girl up in the stands. I'll leave her nameless.
Right.
They had to see her up in the stands for another 3 weeks. So they said that was great. So I'm gonna dive a little bit into this game now that we're here in week 18. Winner take all. Lamar's playing, and Keshia, you and I had some one-offs, and you were telling me that hey, Lamar had some time off. He had a chance to really rest up. He had 2 weeks off.
No, he got hurt week 16 against the Patriots. So he was off this week 17 last week against Green Bay. But, I mean, quite honestly, I don't think Lamar has been healthy or close to 100% most of the season. Like it was week 4 or 5 when he first got hurt with the hamstring. Then if you follow Adam Schefter, like every week it's like, oh, okay, he's questionable. He goes from questionable to in or questionable to out. So like he hasn't been consistently healthy for more than like a week at a time throughout the season. So listening to the interviews from practice on Thursday, they were saying, like this is the closest to 100% Lamar has been all season. So I'm optimistic about what he's going to bring to the field on Sunday.
Okay. And I agree with that because this week was the first full week of practice Lamar's had since his injury. And, so I'm definitely interested to see. I mean, I understand why a lot of the analysts and pundits were like, y'all should start Tyler. He's healthier. And he won 2 big games for us. I'm not taking nothing away from Snoop. I can't knock him at all, but we got the best chance with 8 on the field. As long as he is somewhat healthy. And I think I think we might see one of the healthiest versions of him we've seen probably arguably since week 1, because a lot of people
Yeah.
speculate that he got hurt in that Bills game. So,
Yeah.
so we'll see.
Yeah.
You know what? I think he did get hurt, but then, like, it wasn't until the Chiefs game when, like, that
Right.
hamstring hit him. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we know how good Derrick Henry is, right? Is it sometimes your coach wake up in the morning and don't think Henry is that good? Like, it has to be a reason why he don't run the rock. Yo, I'ma just tell you, when I watch y'all, I'm saying, all right, y'all win. Henry get 22 carries. He
Yeah.
get 20 carries, y'all win.
Yeah.
Does Harbaugh really just say we not gonna run? I don't even. You know what? And it makes me so upset as a football fan that even when they teams load up the box, 8 in the box, 9 in the box, he still get 4 yards. He still get 5 yards. Look, talk to me. Y'all Raven fans, y'all see it better than me. What happens? He had bad nightmares? What is it?
Yeah, I don't, for me, I don't know what it is. Part of me wants to say it is Todd, right? Todd's the offensive coordinator. He schemes up these game plans and things like that. But I do think there's a level of confidence that John has in Lamar, where for him it's always about, I want Lamar to win a game. I think he really does love Lamar that much that he wants Lamar to prove to the world that he's as great as he thinks he is.
Mhm.
And sometimes he overloads him, and he allows Todd to overload him, and they just abandon the run altogether. I ain't really got no other reason other than that, because I think it's just as dumb as everybody else. I'm gonna be honest. So I love Lamar, and I want to see a Lamar do great things. However, we got that freight train in the backfield for a reason. And the minute that Pat Ricard came back from injury, he's leading that charge. It's hard to stop that. Like you said, Derek sneezes and falls for 4 yards. You know what I'm saying?
And I think the same, like, everyone wants Lamar to be the Superman that the analysts and everyone wants him to be. So often they give him the ball and expect him to perform magic on his own
Yeah.
without the support of the offensive line. And, so when he falls short of that, then of course it becomes criticism for Lamar. And, like, it becomes a coaching decision that they're setting him up for not to win. I don't want to say setting him up for failure, but they're not setting him up to succeed. So leveraging Derrick Henry and, like, I told you my theory, let him run up somebody, run down the back, stiff arm him, do whatever he needs to do and hold on to the ball. That's all I really care about. Just hold on to the ball.
Right.
So I think it's a combination of things. I've never played football, so I have to defer to the gentleman. But I would imagine that when you fumble in a big game, it's an ego blow. So you got to, like, work to get your confidence back because it breaks that momentum. So,
Right.
that might have something to do with why Derek might have come out. And then, just saving that energy. I don't know why you would not put Derek in the fourth quarter. I still can't make an excuse for that. But
12 minutes.
yeah,
12
but I mean, that kind of goes back to, what we were talking about earlier, possibly. But he's human. Like, he is
Yeah.
superhuman, but he's human. He does fatigue. Like, he runs hard each play. So at
Right.
some point, that's got to wear you down, and he's going to need to rest. So you got to get a man a few minutes of rest.
All right, so we talked about your backfield. I'll pivot to Pittsburgh in a minute, but we focus on y'all right now. We focused on your quarterback. Lamar is as healthy as he's ever been. Your running back probably had over 1,000 yards in, like, the third game of the season. And then your wide receivers. I mean, yeah, you got the little shifty boy. I mean, but I know he made another Pro Bowl. But is that enough when we talk about and I'm removing the Steelers out of the equation with the rest of these playoff teams out there? Is Flowers enough? I mean, you got an amazing tight end, but is that enough? And you know what? Let's focus on Week 18. Is that enough to get through Week 18 with just Flowers?
Only because y'all are so beat up. That's the only reason I would say confidently yes. If we all had DK on the field, if y'all had Darnell Washington on the field, I'll be honest, I don't know if I would feel as confident, especially because I don't know if y'all saw the injury report. Rashad Bateman didn't practice at all this week. So there's a good chance that he doesn't play.
All right,
Relying
so
on
let's stay on your offense. Well, we'll get to the defense. Let's stay on the offense. So you got Lamar, you got Flowers lining up, and if Bateman's out, that's going to put a lot on your tight end. So you got your tight end and Flowers. Is that enough? Is that enough to beat that Pittsburgh defense that is, I think, second or third in taking away the ball away? I mean, and if they not in the top 3, they in the top 5. It's back. He's had 2
Yeah.
weeks off. He's had 2 weeks off. And then Highsmith had 2 sacks last week against the Browns, and they knew Watt was out. So they shifted everything over to Highsmith. So Highsmith is still making impactful plays. So where's Lamar going to throw the ball?
I mean, I think when you look at it, Lamar over the last 2 seasons, we'll speak about the last 2 seasons, Lamar is really strategic with where he places the ball. The Ravens have never been predicated on their pass game. It's the reason why Zay Flowers is the first wide receiver ever in our franchise history to make a Pro Bowl. That's just not what we're known for. We're not known for having big time receivers, at least in their prime. We had Odell, yes. We had Anquan Bolden in the past. We had Steve Smith, but we caught them all on the tail end, on the back end of their careers. You know what I mean? We're not known for having a homegrown receiving core like that. I think Lamar is really good at putting the ball where it needs to be. A lot of people aren't talking about Charlie Kolar, but Charlie Kolar has made some really good plays for us throughout the last 2 seasons when nobody's expecting him to.
Okay.
Like he's a third tight end, but he's a tight end that nobody pays attention to, and I think that works out in our favor. And then when you got Keaton Mitchell, Rasheen Ali coming out the backfield, there's options. Are they weapons, to your point? They're not weapons, but they're options, and I think he could use them the right way.
Yeah,
All right.
I agree.
So Keish, I'll flip on the other side. You guys have a respectable defense. You got some. I mean, number 0, he should get Pro Bowl respect in the first 3 games. I mean, right off the bat. I mean, as much as I love Queen, I know they played the Batman and Robin role, and Queen played Robin a lot. And I respect that. I mean, y'all have it all stages. I mean, your front line, it isn't as stout as it used to be. So I see y'all rolling up 14 to the line of scrimmage a lot more, just to make sure that things don't get out of hand. I mean, and your corners always have played really well. Even with the situation with DK beat him on some good balls. I mean, that's all that was. I mean, it was some good throws, and DK caught the ball. I mean, every time I looked up, I was like, they about to knock it down. Oh, he caught that. That's how I was that last game. So I know, where do you think, like I said, I don't think you guys are as strong as you used to be, but can you, on Sunday, stop the Pittsburgh Steelers running game? You got Kenny Gainwell back there who's been showing up, and I mean, the man got great hands. Jaylen Warren is, I think, 108 yards away from his first 1,000-yard season. So they're not known commodities, but they do what they need to do. And like you said, options. They're very good options. So y'all stop the Steelers running game.
I mean, like, to your point, like, I'm a hardcore Ravens fan. I love the boys, but I'm not delusional. They've been anything. Consistency is not part of their vocabulary, or at least this season. So, I mean, we've just got to bring the game and like be ready to face all the weapons that the Steelers are bringing on Sunday. I love Zach Orr, but I do question some of the decisions that he's
All
made
right, I
throughout the
lost you,
season.
K. Mac, you
And
still
where we
here? Did it
started
all
the
freeze?
beginning of the season with defense, I think we're like at the bottom of the list, if not the bottom of the list right now. And I think it's twofold. It's our offensive line's got to deliver, because what we've seen in the past is that our offense is off the field so quickly that our defense never gets a break. So, again, these are supermen, but they're human. So, they need some time to rest and recover in between plays. And if our offensive line's not doing anything, the offense isn't doing anything, then the defense is out there, 12 minutes during the quarter, depending on how the opposing team is moving the ball. And I mean, that's not good. That's not good. So, what they say, like, offense wins games, defense wins championships. So they've got to bring it. Play like you want to win. Like, and I think that that's been our biggest obstacle over the years. We play not to lose. We don't always play to win. So that's what I want to see on Sunday. I want to see them stomp through the Steelers. Like Super Bowl is right around the corner. Each week is like a new season, and treat it as such.
With the coaching, Keith, you touched on before we jumped on the call that Tomlin and Harbaugh must got some side bet stuff. You win this week, I win this week. I win this week. I think the record is probably 33-32 or something like that. I mean, it's close. I don't think they got a 2-game average over each other. I don't think they got a 2-game win over each other. The question comes down to, a lot of noise out there says the coach that loses this game this could be their
Not
last game.
today.
Like,
Yeah.
the same way as a Ravens fan that if Harbaugh loses this game, could he be gone?
I mean, people call for Harbaugh's dismissal every time things go wrong. Like we've seen all the noise around Lamar in the past couple of weeks. Or the past week. These are men that know each other. So I'm sure that after each game, depending on where they are, they probably go out and have a nice big steak dinner together. If not before. They have a friendship and a certain amount of respect for one another. But there's gonna be noise. There's gonna be noise regardless. I mean, I quite honestly, I think Tomlin's at greater risk than Harbaugh is this season. Yeah, for the obvious reasons, but yeah.
What you think, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Honestly, I don't believe that Harbs is at risk. We heard this the year that Lamar was drafted. Lamar came in and ended up being great. And they said, well, Lamar saved Harb's career because he was about to be out of there. All right, cool. Now we back at it. I think Steve Bisciotti, the owner, he loves John. And I think he would need a real reason to let him go. And this ain't a real reason. You know what I mean? Although, yes, we have fallen short. But we have at least been in the talk. We have been in the noise. It's hard to just get rid of your coach when we've at least been going to the playoffs. We might not make it far. We might mess up early. All that. Yeah, I'm not taking nothing away from that. But I think if anybody goes, me personally, I think if anybody goes, it'll be Zach Orr before it would be John.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then you've got to talk about, think about the culture of the Baltimore Ravens. Like when you look at the NFL as a whole and which organizations have the best culture, Baltimore Ravens is at the top of the list. I mean, aside from what they do for the community, and again, not to get all political, but like they're very invested in what's happening in the Baltimore community. And, they're 10 tones down for inclusivity and supporting the underserved communities within the city. So the culture of the organization itself is sort of set by Harbs. So I don't think that they could let him go and their culture survive. And in this day and age, it's so hard to find an organization that has like a strong culture where people really feel like, at home. I mean, when you think about the people who joined the Ravens, later in their career, even if they were problematic with their previous teams, when they got to the Ravens, you ain't hear no drama. You didn't hear any chaos. They weren't acting a fool on the weekends. They came in, they did the job, and they were professional every single week. So that's a lot to be said for the culture of the Baltimore Ravens.
Never heard that all my years as a Steelers fan to say fire Tom. And one of the great things that he did when he got up on the podium, they said, "Well, how do you feel about that?" He said, "Well, we're not done. Just keep watching." And then we won 3 games in a row. So at that point, the coach said, "Yo, I'm sure it hurt him because as a man, like you said, he's been in the league as a coach for 19 years for the same organization and never heard anything like that. I'm sure it got to him as a man. I'm sure he had to look in the mirror and say, "Do I even want to still be here?" But
Right.
I think if he decided to leave, I think he would have some opportunities to coach. So, but I think Tomlin will go anywhere, and if he did, it would have to be under his own feeling of leaving. I don't think he will be fired.
Nah.
So we're getting up on a half an hour timeline. So, hey Mac, I'm gonna go you first.
Yeah.
Give me your player that steps up, offense, defense, whatever, that steps up, and go ahead and give me your final of the game.
Ooh, okay. Player that steps up. I think just because obviously we done talked about Derek, we done talked about Lamar, like all those things are your obvious ones. And I'm gonna say another obvious name, but it's on the defensive side. I think the game changer is Kyle Hamilton.
Okay.
I think I think they're going to use him in a lot of ways to disrupt Aaron's flow. Like at the end of the day, Aaron might be old, but Aaron's still Aaron, and we know what he can do if you give him the time, and we know what he can do if you let him get a rhythm going and things like that. So I think Kyle's going to be used a lot to kind of keep Aaron off that mark and disrupt his rhythm.
Okay.
And I'm thinking 24-17.
Okay.
24-17 is what I'm thinking right now. I think our offense right now is gonna be able to do some stuff. It might start off a little slow, we'll see. But I think our offense is gonna be able to do some stuff, and I think y'all are still gonna move the ball on us. Our defense right now is giving up 352 yards a game. Y'all gonna move the ball. We can't take nothing away from that. Y'all gonna move the ball. But I just think that y'all are gonna settle for more field goals than you do touchdowns, and that'll be the decision maker. I think we're gonna put it in the end zone a couple times.
Let's see how that could play out. Okay, what you got, Kat?
My player that's going to step up, I mean, it's not anything new, but I'm thinking Zay Flowers.
Okay.
Like every time I close my eyes, I think about that Chiefs game last season, playoffs, where he got into the end zone and he dropped that ball or they knocked it out his hand. And I was out and I was having like heart palpitations once it occurred. So I feel like I'm hoping that haunts him every day and that he will continue to, not relive that moment, hold on to the ball. Like it's not over till you got 2 feet in the end zone. So screw the rule of knocking over crossing the plane. No, I need 2 steps and then that football move so that we
Tuck
know
that.
that it's a
Yep.
touchdown, because I think we got cheated out of a touchdown during the Patriots game. And I think the NFL, the refs admitted that they made a mistake. But at that point, it was nothing that they could do about it.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to end up with a 24. It's going to be closer. I think it's going to be like 24-21 for the game on Sunday, which is not good for my heart. I want to see a good game. Like more so, like, I mean, of course we want to win, but
Yeah.
so many of these games, I think all season long, like we've seen like these high scoring games, like 36-17 and 42-41. I want to see a good game.
All right. Okay. I like it. I am going player that's going to step up. Actually, will be Queen.
Okay.
I got Queen stepping up. This is his opportunity. Yeah, he played some regular seasons against his old team. I think his preparation, knowing Lamar for those years that they played together. Yeah, I mean nothing replicates actual game, but
Right.
you are our quarterback on defense. I think he sets the tone. I honestly believe that we get this win. I just think being at home is a really big factor. I do. If we
Yeah.
were at Baltimore, I wouldn't even have called y'all on the phone. I wouldn't even want to talk to y'all. But playing in Pittsburgh for everything, and I'm gonna go with this theory is the NFL want to write these beautiful scripts. I see Aaron Rodgers being able to keep it moving, and at the end of the game, he taps Lamar on his head and said, "You got it next year, because I'm retired."
Well, he should have retired a while ago, but
Hey.
that's a
No,
conversation
I'm
again
not.
for
I'm
another
not
day.
confident in that Browns game. Aaron Rodgers was throwing some dimes. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
yes,
The
definitely.
man still got an arm.
He still has an arm, and his smarts. His smarts
Yeah.
are really unmatched. I watched some game film, and if I was playing quarterback, I'd have threw about 3 picks just the way that coverage is.
Yeah.
No, but he dissects the defense and he sees it, and he's really good.
Mhm.
When I look at the matchup, we Steelers have gotten much better against the run, which we had to. No, my feeling. We played y'all the first game. Eric Henry, think 98 yards. We played
Mhm.
Miami. They were rolling. I think they won 6 in a row or something like that. Their top running back, 60 yards. Then we played the Lions. We all know the Lions can put up points and run with the best of them. We held them to 14 yards rushing. So
Mm-hmm.
if you want to say we got tested to play Henry. We've been tested to play Henry. I'm not saying it's going to work. You did not hear me say that. Do not cut this tape in half or say AJ said. I didn't say that. But if you were trying to get primed for something, that was the best way to get primed to try to work against Henry. And I just
Right.
think it's going to come down to um, Queen, and it will come down on your side. It'll come down to Lamar. I mean,
Yeah.
I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, if not best players in the league. So I wouldn't be surprised if y'all come to Pittsburgh and y'all walk away with a W. I see it being 24. I see 27-24 with some field goals that Mac were talking about. We kick them
Mm-hmm.
early, but then we put some points up. I just think both teams will have an opportunity to score. I just think the Steelers come out with the W. I'm hoping Harbaugh does what he does and he just decide to call it, tell
Yeah.
Lamar to throw it 30 times, you know? Yeah, let
Yeah.
Henry sit on the bench for 12 minutes. Hey, I hope he does that. You know, I really don't think so. I think it's gonna be a great game, and I'm looking forward to talking to y'all after. But I
Yeah,
thank y'all
somebody gonna be
for
mad.
coming
Yeah.
on. Kiki and Mac, thank everybody for hanging out with us. This is Action Jackson, host of Smoky Coverage Sports Talk. And hey, enjoy the games. We'll
All
see
right.
you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Peace.
Yeah. Yeah. Peace out.
Smoky Coverage Sports Talk.